welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is probably one of the most important do not get into this habit topics that I can speak about. And it's called Ring of Pearls. And I remember when my instructor back in the day, my teacher, first introduced this concept to the class, and nobody even realized they were doing it. But if you stop or you don't start to begin with, it really makes a difference in your artwork. Now, when I first started doing colored pencil, I didn't even put two and two together that the graphite Ring of Pearls is the same as the colored pencil Ring of Pearls. Remember, this has been my journey over the last 7 years also. So even I have made this mistake, but I consciously stop doing this. And what it involves is creating a barrier that is too dark. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit over here, maybe a first couple of these, and I'm going to create the Ring of Pearls. And this is what I see countless instructors doing it that are teaching colored pencil, and it doesn't stop. It's a bad habit that's gone from one person to the next until it's become sort of the norm, and then people get stuck because they don't realize they're doing this, and they don't know what's wrong with their pictures, why they can't progress. So I'm going to do 3, and of course I'm doing this really quickly. You would do your lay down and your highlight areas. You would do it much slower, of course, and smoother. Okay, so now I have this lay down on the 3. And what I am seeing a lot of, and it even being taught, as I said, and it's wrong, is you take your pencil and you think this is a good idea. Okay, and then you take, say, a white pencil and you put a highlight in the middle. And of course you smooth out your edges. This is never right. You will never progress being able to produce realistic pictures if you get into this habit. You put that ring. You're competing with the black lines. You're trying to get rid of the black lines, and this is not how you do it. If you're going to choose to work out of a coloring book, you're sometimes going to have to just ignore those dark lines. There's nothing you can do about it. Or you can take preparation before the picture is even started and then go on from there. Now I'm going to show you what this same exact picture is going to look like without that Ring of Pearls. So I'm going to do my highlight area. My light source is here. Okay, that's the light bulb in a room. Here is my center lights. Okay, and I'm going to do a smooth lay down going all around, skipping over that area. Now, for a little bit, it may look like a Ring of Pearls. This would be called the ugly phase, okay? And you're going to hear me say that a lot. Every picture, every patient, every painting that's out there goes through something called the ugly phase. It's when the picture is being developed and it doesn't look quite right, and a lot of people give up. This is not the time to give up. When you're going through that ugly phase, all of a sudden, your picture then develops and it starts to look really good. Always try to push yourself past it. So I would call this part the beginnings of the ugly phase. It's undeveloped. I don't have anything giving it any sort of distinction. I only have 1 or 2 layers on it. And it could last for a long time, especially if you're doing a texture. That's when the ugly phase really comes into play, is when you're doing a texture and you don't have all the layers on to get that texture done. But the work that you put in beforehand is going to show through later on. And we'll be going through the ugly phase many, many times on our journey together. Okay. Now, you notice how the highlighted area is starting to, over here, you've got very distinct areas. Okay? They're clumpy, they're lumpy. But over here, they sort of, it's forming a line. Okay? Now I want to change to a darker color. I want to start blending in other colors here. I'm not going to take my pencil and scrub in that dark line. Okay? That is just accentuating those black lines that didn't need to be there in the picture in the first place. What you're going to do is you're going to change the direction. And very lightly, until you get it looking right, you don't want that ring going around that original object. Now watch what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to leave you to some music. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this and exactly what it's going to develop into. Over here, you've got these lumpy things that are going to look like little bulges. You're not going to have a smooth light line on the hat. What I started to develop, and it's only in the middle phases, is light that is more natural. It stretches across the object. A lot of times, say, we're going to look at this, okay? We're going to make this little flower pop, okay? If you go in and you develop that ring of pearls, okay? Each petal is going to look as if it is a completely separate object instead of a cohesive flower. Okay? And while it's an impressive parlor trick that will make your picture look a little weird, but the colors will be pretty, it'll never develop into anything that looks like a real flower. And you have that awful bump in the middle. Okay, now look at these, what I'm going to do with these. Now this is only going to be a few seconds of work. Okay, now if you look at this, it's extremely unnatural. By not creating that ring, okay, that's here, the petal becomes much more natural. Now you can blend in any colors into that you want, but each petal becomes its own shape, and it also hits the light differently because every petal will develop and hit the light differently. There's no petals that are the same. When you have this, and everything is the same from petal to petal, it's extremely unnatural. So this is what you're striving for. This is what you're striving for. This is a no-no. No ring of pearls. And I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.